Hello, everybody.
Hi, everybody.
And welcome to the Weird Science Comics YouTube channel, where I'm going to go through Batman and the Outsiders number 13, an issue that's written by Brian Hill with art by Gleb Malenkoff. That sounds like the latest album by the Insane Clown Posse. But you end up having Batman and the Outsiders. It's a book that has really had a slow pacing. You ended up having it come out of Brian Hill's Detective Comics run and seemingly out of even Justice League No Justice way, way back. Well, it was delayed before it came out. I think things changed because when it first was going to come out, it was dealing with a story of Karma that was in Detective Comics that was a Brainiac type tech that was in Markovia coming out of that No Justice. Well, things started to get a little wonky. They changed it around, and we're finally getting back to that story of this tech in Markovia, but now it's being pushed as ancient aliens tech. And, you know, when you mention ancient aliens, that means things are going to be hard-hitting. And so when we go into this, we already are, from the other issues, having a situation where the Outsiders team and Batman are kind of having some problems because our man Ra's al Ghul has control of tech that pretty much can destroy the world, or at least reshape it in the way he wants to. Batman and the Outsiders team needs to react, but they can't and they don't want to. Batman will not give up, say, Cass and Duke Thomas. That's what Ra's said. Give me the kids or else this is all going to be bad. I'm going to end up destroying the world. And so what Batman does is pretty much a holding pattern. We're not going to react because if we don't react, that means Rachel thinks he's winning. I don't kind of go with that since he made some demands, but the problem with this book, it's a good book. It's a nice book, but it doesn't end up getting past its own self. We are dealing with character moments, and it's very big on character moments. Brian Hill will give you a lot of character moments. My problem is they're the same character moments. We're on issue 13, and anytime you have a scene with Jefferson, Black Lightning, and Batman together, it's all about Jefferson saying, you don't trust me to lead the team, Batman. And this just continues. It's been since issue 1. It's still going on. Batman tries to explain, no, it's not that. We just have to make Ra's think he's winning. We're going to figure this out. We have to figure out what these weapons, what this alien tech is. So he does call in a little help, which is odd because it's Martian Manhunter for some reason shows up in Gotham. Maybe he's trying to punk people. He shows up dressed or at least shape-shifting as Batman. Well, why? Why does he show up in Gotham to meet Batman and Black Lightning as Batman? The only reason I think it is I think this is Brian Hill trying to show you that, hey, it's Martian Manhunter. Remember, he's a shapeshifter, because I think that might play in later. It's very odd, but because you have the idea ancient alien tech, well, what alien do I know? Batman's thinking, well, Superman, he's a punch a Mongol in the face. What other aliens? And it really goes in that idea of like, hey, I'm from California. Oh, do you know Ben Affleck? Stuff like that. It's so weird that just because John John's Martian Manhunter is an alien, we'll just go to him and ask him about this ancient alien tech that ended up coming to Earth, tried to terrify. It really is wonky. And the thing is, he ends up even saying, I don't really know if I'm right, but here's my theories. Before we get to that, though, you do end up going and seeing both Duke Thomas and Cassandra Cain. They are sparring. They're fighting together, practicing. And we've gotten this all along, too. Now, the big thing with Duke and Cassandra is Batman trying to help us? Is he hindering us? That actually ends up being amplified by Shiva, who's on the team. And Duke, he has these new powers. If you haven't been reading this book, you might know that Duke the Signal, he has light powers. Well, not anymore, because in this series, it has been transformed into dark powers, which we know nothing about. We really haven't explored it at all. And that's what I've been waiting. I want to see these dark powers. Now, is it something behind the scenes that this book was just meant to give them those powers, but it's not Brian Hill's place to show them. But where's the place? I need to see that. But yeah, you end up having Shiva thinking the whole time, my daughter Cassandra's being held back by Batman. Duke Thomas held back by Batman. And Katana, who really doesn't have much to do, and I will point out, also was given a new power earlier with these kind of elemental powers but we never saw anything of it since. She wants the idea, hey, Cassandra and Duke are being protected by Batman. I want them here in Gotham. Shiva's like, no, that's nonsense. I'm going to fight you because I want Duke and Cassandra to come to me because I want to take it to Ra's al Ghul. Now, in the meantime, she might be undercover still. She might be the triple agent slash, upside down applesauce. I don't know, but they're going to fight. And this fight is so weird. It's okay. Me and you are going to fight, Katana. I'm Shiva now. Hey, Katana, if I win, I get to ask Duke and Cass if they want to join me. They don't have to, but I'm going to give them that choice. If you win, Katana, then you just have them. They could be yours. Why isn't it just this? Why don't we go ask them? Why don't we give them the choice? But no, they're going to fight. But in a book that ends up having little action, especially this issue, then we'll go to an issue that's all action. Then we'll go back to Noah. The pacing of action to character moments, dialogue is so off in this book. You have an opportunity to see where, oh my God, I wanted to see Shiva and Katana fight. That's good. You don't see it. It's off panel. Well, you end up having Duke say to Cassandra, you know what? I don't think Batman's telling us everything. I think that he's nonsense and he's holding us back and he's putting us on the bench. I want to go fight and I want to go fight Ra's. Again, this is just the same things we keep getting over and over. And unfortunately for, I guess, them eventually, if I would guess, Shiva does end up winning. But we go back to this ancient alien tech where Martian Manhunter says, oh, I'm going to tell you exactly what this alien tech is, but I really don't have a way to know this. So I'm going to say this is conjecture, but you're going to go fully with it, including Batman, who's going to end up pretty much, I don't know, putting Jefferson's life on the line because of this little bit of conjecture. But the big thing is to push the idea that this weapon, this whole terraforming device, that Ra's is going to turn into a weapon. Ra's turns everything into a weapon, we know. Is electromagnetic. It ends up being the same type of power that Black Lightning has. Convenient, yes. Yeah, we'll just keep going on, and at least it is something. But you end up where? Yeah, Batman. So, yeah, it's the same power as you, correct? I get a little nervous when you're asking me questions like that. And the big thing is just going to lead to Black Lightning is going to have to save the day against this, but with a little twist. We do end up seeing that while Ra's is using this device, he ended up using it to destroy Shiva's home village. That was kind of the test, but also the display of power that they wanted to use so that Ra's can kind of blackmail or at least demand things from the outsiders. But this device that somehow has just been hanging out for centuries, but nobody wants to touch, but yet it's the all-powerful thing, and Markovia, all this. Well, Ra's has it now, and as you use it, it does seem to siphon off some of your life. It drains you of your life power, your essence, your chi. That's not a big thing for Ra's. She even says, I got Lazarus pits. I don't really care about that. I mean, look at me. I'm Mr. Lazarus. And so he wants to do this, and really, in my mind, it's funny because it seems like a terraforming device is a surface level idea of Ra's al Ghul. He does want to change the world. But to me, it's always socially. He wants to change the way the world's run. He wants to change the way governments are based. He wants that, the infrastructures, but this is going right to the root. He's just going to terraform the hell out of Earth, and then he'll pick up the pieces. And I want him to have a glove and snap when he does it. It would be pretty cool, right? But he's going to do that, and it's going to be at a risk to his own life. Well, you end up where, in fact, Shiva did win the fight. Like I said, we didn't see it. And she takes both Cass and Duke off. They end up at a swanky hotel somehow, which I do like the art, but Malenkov's art changes with Cass. She seems to actually age about 10 years and becomes like a sassy Lois Lane. And I like the hairstyle. I really like it. I like both, but it's still, she ends up changing a bit. But that's the Cass out and about. She has her more adult face on, but it's the same thing. Shiva is a broken record in this thing. Batman's keeping you down. Batman's keeping you down. You don't have your potential. Batman's keeping you. All right. Well, finally, somebody's going to listen. Duke, he's listening. Cass is going to be what I think is the way out of this by the end of. I don't know. I think Batman's a pretty good guy. But yeah, you end up with that. Cass is not necessarily trusting her mother so much. Duke, he's all in. But even so, Duke said that she was a cougar a couple issues ago. So who knows what he's thinking with. But yeah, you go back to Batman and Black Lightning, and suddenly Martian Manhunter becomes a hologram? When did that happen? So he ended up showing up in Gotham, shape-shifted as Batman, but then was a hologram. He just disappears, says, hey, I gave you my info. I'm out. I got Martian Manhunter things to do. Hashtag Martian life, and goes off. And this is where Batman says, hey, you know what? Duke, he has these darkness powers that we haven't looked at yet. And also Katana, she has this elemental power. I'm confused. But I'm going to upgrade you, and we're going to give you more power. The gang's all here. Let's go. Because he does end up with, since this whole weapon is kind of your powers, the only way that we can fight it is by upgrading your powers, giving you a boost. And I want you to get in this torture-looking dentist chair. And that's what'll happen. Batman looks a little too happy to be presenting this chair. Hey, come in here. I'll look at those wisdom teeth. Plus, we'll upgrade your deal and we'll make you super Black Lightning. All right, get in because I really want to see what happens here. Overall, you get some okay character moments. I think that it's one of those things. If you have been reading all 13 issues, you got to be a little tired of the same things over and over. But the book is never terrible. And Gleb Malenkov's coming on here for art in this issue, usually Dexter Soy, but Gleb does a great job, except for that Cassandra thing, but I can even get over that. But Dexter Soy's art in this is always awesome. This is a book that it's such a weird one that I do like it, but it's not anything necessary. It's not something that when it comes out on now a Tuesday that I have to rush and read it first. But when I read it, I don't get mad. I just get frustrated because it seems like there should be more and we should have progressed more. And yeah, you did end up having Brian Hill kind of waylaid by the Year of the Villain for a long time in this book that never really made sense towards the whole Year of the Villain event. Didn't really matter in that. And so once you get back to the story, it seems like he wants to reset and retell some things. So you're getting those character moments again, possibly for people who jumped in after the Year of the Villain. And maybe this would be better for them since then but yeah, as somebody who's read and reviewed all the issues, it is getting frustrating. I do think that this will end at issue 18, get 3 trades out of it, this one story with Ra's al Ghul, and then call it quits and go. The book isn't selling great. So I think that that's what will happen. It'll be a shame because the book will always end up in my mind being the coulda, shoulda, woulda, with Brian Hill kind of getting told to do some things. Things got wonky. It was delayed at first, all those things. But overall, giving it a 6.5. And yeah, you can check it out. It's not horrible. It's actually okay. So check it out. And I'll like to hear if you like it or not in the comments below. But yeah, that's the video. If you like it, and please subscribe to the channel, like the video below, and also look at the links below for all sorts of weird science links to podcasts and websites and all that stuff. Maybe even my latest grocery list you can check out. I don't know. I haven't checked those links in a while. So maybe there is that. You will see it won't be much because our refrigerator ended up going. If somebody called me right now and asked me, hey, is your refrigerator running as a prank call? I'd prank them back because it isn't. It broke and we don't have a refrigerator for a week now. It's tough. I didn't realize how much you needed to refrigerate food, But thanks, everybody. And I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will talk to you later.